Welcome to the Christian and Daniel Show.
It's about to get real, well, you know the deal. You won't have to guess how either of them feel. Bringing up the things you don't think to know. Never knowing where the conversation will go. Just a little more than anything goes. It's the Christian and Daniel Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Wait till Grandpa gets his booster seat. He said, why didn't you just tell me to grab it for you?
Because it wouldn't have been that easy. It was underneath a bunch of stuff. Oh, hello everyone. I am Christian.
And I'm Daniel.
And this is the Christian and
Daniel Show.
Welcome. And we want to welcome our guest host tonight.
Oh, I want to say hi to everybody.
Oh, hello.
Welcome everybody who's watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Thank you for joining us today. If you don't mind sharing this on your page. For all of you watching us on YouTube, do us a favor, scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and the notification bell to let you know every time there's a new show that we can catch on, because we have shows almost every day of the week. Horoscopes on Monday, Christian and Daniel on Wednesday, Card Devo on Fridays, put it together on Saturdays, and then we have pop-up shows every once in a while during the week.
Usually Sundays are down there.
Yes, so if you follow us on YouTube, then you can watch the shows. And remember that remember to join the conversation. Okay, now what are you going to say?
Oh, and our guest host today is Ross McCreery. Hi, Ross.
Hey, Ross.
Hey, guys. Good to be back.
Good to have you back. Ross is joining us from his love den.
I know.
Well, it pretty much is. You got the mood lighting going, you know.
Yeah.
So,
hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Regina, Saskatchewan.
This is Ross's cave. Well, actually, Ross was telling us, hey, Nancy, Ross was telling us about his sinkhole. You want to tell us about your sinkhole in Regina?
You were just about to tell us when the time came to start the show. But
I am painting a really good picture of us here, you know, in Saskatchewan, aren't I? You know, or for the rest of Canada, for that matter. Yes. No, we've got, like, we're in the middle of, I was late coming in because I'm dealing with our street and stuff like that. It's just been one of those days, and I was trying to get prepared for some of the stuff I wanted to give you guys tonight, and so it was a little bit late. But that we've been undergoing a melt as we come to the end of our winter.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been a quick melt, and the section of road that they basically had to cut open to do some work for this winter to repair the sewer line, they backfill it with just a crusher dirt. And as things started to melt, all of that water found its way into that hole. Well, on our sidewalk, I could literally go up to one of the areas where they cut it open, and I could look 5 to 7 feet down where the water had opened up this giant sinkhole. Well, within a matter of hours this morning, the road had dropped about 8 to 10 feet, and the whole thing is just opening up. So apparently within the next day or so here, they're going to be bringing in all their heavy equipment to basically dig it all out, re-backfill it.
Yeah. They should have done it right the first time. Come on, guys.
Well, the problem is it's 35 below in winter, right? So they got to when they do the repairs, they can't just backfill it and then pave it, right? Because I've got 6 feet of snow. So,
I can't. I mean, ever since Dallas, I can't imagine what 6 feet of snow.
Oh my God. That's a lot of snow.
That's like taller than me, 6 feet of snow.
It's been a harsh winter. Like, we've had a lot of storms blow in. We've had a lot of really heavy blizzards that have blown in and has dumped a lot of snow all in, that's not true. Yeah. So yeah, it's been, I've got the sinkhole going on. I've got, I got all, I don't want to get us off. To
on a tangent, but there's a lot going on besides.
You want to get us off on a sinkhole?
Cars, I don't even talk about.
It seems like every time you come on the show, it's like that part of my brain just gets triggered. Like, ooh.
Well, I have that effect. I have that effect on people.
That's why we're in his boudoir today.
Hi.
Yeah.
Welcome to Ross Cave.
Welcome to my.
On
On that note, I told you guys that the next time I came in to co-host with you guys, I was going to find out some information about Dr. Slice.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God, I still want to try that.
Yes.
Okay. You want to know the facts? It got discontinued 10 years ago.
In Canada, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is nowhere. The actual substitute that came in was Slice.
Oh, just Slice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a PepsiCo product, but yeah, Dr. Slice is no longer.
Oh,
wow.
That's so sad.
So for everybody who had been holding their breath since last year, sorry, folks. We're not going to get it. Yeah, I even looked after the show. I was looking online, and what I found, what is it that I found? A machine, like or a sign. I think I found a sign.
It was a sign.
Yeah, that was it. That's the only thing that
There's
I found.
nothing of Dr. Slice. Like, it just didn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we hate to bring you bad news, but sorry. What else?
I watch this streaming. Some of my streaming shows I watch through a website are Canadian television, and I've noticed that they've been advertising these little Canada's best cookies, and they have some real French sounding name. They're like little cookies with chocolate, a thick layer of chocolate on top, and it has like a design on it, like a little crown or something.
Yeah, that narrows it down.
Yeah, it's called like Lillet. It's called like Lillet something.
But I almost got you. I happened to be in Edmonton. We went to Edmonton. We decided instead of for break, we had our sort of what our kids would deem spring break. A couple weeks ago, and. So we, instead of going on a hot holiday, we ended up staying here in the country. And so we did a staycation sort of, and went to Edmonton. And, of course, where do you visit? My city doesn't have enough people here to have an IKEA, but Edmonton does. So we went to IKEA, and Christian, those cookies that they have that you absolutely love.
Oh, yes, the ones with the little jam in them. Mm.
Yeah.
Those are so good.
And I was thinking about you because the new movie just came out on Disney. I always say the wrong name, but is it Being Red or Turning Red?
Being Red.
Being Red.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
And that's it's based in Canada.
That's right. It is, isn't it?
Where is the tower?
CN Tower in Toronto.
Toronto. So the movie is based in Toronto because the director is from Toronto, so she based it on her own story. Really
that's right.
Cool.
And the commercial was for Leclerc Celebration Milk Chocolate Cookies.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Celebration.
Ooh la la.
You just gave me something to try, and I'm gonna have to go searching and see if I can get my hands on these things.
Yeah, they're that's the name. Because I go, ooh, that sounds so fun. Ooh la la, Leclerc.
I mean, it sounds like it's something from Quebec is what I'm thinking, right? They're probably they're probably out of Quebec, is what I'm thinking.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah,
So
That's funny. That was the ad that was showing, because now it looks like Canadian television is doing these ads at the bottom of the screen.
like a ticker.
Yeah, almost like a ticker, and it's at the bottom, and it just appears at the bottom, then it goes away, and I'm like, that's so weird to me. And these are coming out of, I think they're coming out of Toronto. So,
and what's is this on a streaming service that you're seeing this, or?
well, yeah, but I think what I'm watching is the actual, what would be like a cable service in Canada. It's CTV, and it has the red, green, and
yeah. The red, green, and blue. CTV is one of our major. They're one of our major networks.
Yeah, that's where these are coming from, and they're doing this kind of different. Here we don't do that. Different laws, different countries about how you can advertise, but they're doing a lot of stuff at the bottom. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So, and there's not as many commercial interruptions, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
well,
for everybody watching, what is a treat that you had as a kid that is not around anymore?
Ooh.
And I can think of one thing that I've been searching for and I can't find it anymore. Saludos, compadre. ¿Cómo estás, Jose?
Hello, Jose.
There used to be here.
Hello, Nancy. Hello, Piper.
There was a thing called spreadables.
Oh, I
remember
that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a little tin, and it was already like a chicken or a tuna mix.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
My mom used to buy those for me because when I would get home from school, like in fourth grade, I stopped going to babysitter, and I would come home, and that was my lunch. Almost ooh la la. That was my lunch every day after school. I'd have a Lunchable with Doritos and salsa, and it
was those old types of those old Doritos.
The old Doritos.
Ones, the original flavor,
with no
wasn't
flavor.
cheese.
Yeah,
it
no,
was
just Dorito. Salted.
Dorito,
just salted.
Really good.
But it was a little handful of Doritos. I would make my little sandwich. It was always a thick sandwich because I would use the whole thing. It was a big old sandwich. But then several years ago, I went to look for them, and
they're not around.
Of course, I asked the person.
There might be different versions of it now out there, but I haven't seen
the
it.
Devil.
I know what you're talking
brand,
about.
The Devil brand is similar, but it's not.
Not as good.
It's not. So, for everybody watching, what's something that you, or maybe something you haven't eaten in a while? What's something you haven't had in a while since you were a kid?
Huh.
So you're making me think now, because I'm just trying to think of what have I really craved. I mean,
well, you think about it. Talk about Doritos. People don't know that there was the original Doritos, which had that Dorito flavor and a flavoring, and then there was.
But it wasn't cheese.
No,
it wasn't nacho.
And then there was just like normal tortilla chips.
Doritos
like you buy
tortilla
now.
chips. Yeah.
And then years later, they came out with all the flavors. But originally, you could find the ranch, no, not ranch, like some flavoring, and then the originals. But my favorite were always the original ones. And the last time I searched for them online, the bags were $14. I was like, "You're crazy!
Holy.
I will live with my dreams and fantasies."
Wow. Which it's funny that you got onto the food side of things, because what I did sort of in preparation to coming on is to give you 5 of our really unique Canadian foods.
Okay.
And so, have you ever heard of a beaver tail?
I've heard of a beaver tail, like for real. I've heard of it for real, like a real beaver tail. Because I recently saw a program. It was a survivalist program where people go out in the woods with their dog and they have to live for 10 days. And the guy caught a beaver, his dog caught a beaver, and he ate the tail. He cooked the tail and ate it.
Coris in Mexico, which are similar to the Tootsie Rolls. Ooh, I think I remember those.
Tootsie Rolls. Oh, yeah, those are great.
But there was a candy in Mexico.
These ones, it's a Mexican one, so it probably tasted way better.
Coris, I'm going to look them up right now. Hold on a second.
But no, beaver tail.
So a beaver tail actually comes out of Ontario is where it originated, and it's a fried dough. It's a fried dough pastry basically, and so you can put all kinds of You can put a sweet type of topping onto it or a savory topping onto it. Like, so, often you'll have things like chocolate hazelnut spreads or apple. There's one that they call apple pie, and there's maple sugar crunch and strawberry and brown. Like, you can put all kinds of different toppings, but the beaver tail itself is a deep fried pastry, basically, right?
Wow, that sounds so good.
Yeah. The second thing that I got for you was it's actually out of Newfoundland, and which is the very, very far east coast of Canada. It's a Mallard Cottage Cod Cheeks. Now I had to look this one.
Mallard with the duck mallard?
As in duck. Yeah. Mallard Cottage Cod Cheeks. And it's a specialty in Newfoundland, and it's a corn fried cod cheek, and it's crispy on the outside and flaky on the inside, and served with a punchy, spicy aioli sauce.
Yum.
So is this savory?
Well, good question. I have never personally tried it, because to me it sounds a little bit, a little. I like experimental foods, and I love trying all kinds of unique foods, but there are certain things that I draw the line, and this is one of those that I kind of say, I don't know if I could do it or not,
Yeah. All right. What's your number 3?
So the Choppa Dog is another one, and it's it's a spin. It is. It's called the Choppa Dog, and it's a spin on traditional the traditional hot dog, but it's got this Asian fusion thing going on, and it's a traditional hot dog topped with like teriyaki sauce, nori, bonito flakes, and Japanese mayo.
Wow.
So they've just
that to me sounds kind of interesting. Like, I would try that. Like, that's something.
Yeah. And that to me is something that they would have like on the West Coast in Vancouver, where you've got a lot of Japanese restaurants and a lot of Asian, you've got a lot of Asian influence and so forth out on that West Coast of Vancouver. And so that's something that, you got a lot of that stuff out there. And so unique foods like that, fantastic. Another one I had is one called Rappy Pie. And it's it's called Rappy Pie.
Rappy Pie?
Rappy, R-A-P-P-I. Sorry, R-A-P-P-I-E is what it is. And it's a casserole. And it's a casserole, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. And basically it goes back to the days of, farming, hard labor worker, that type of family would be the ones that would partake in that type of a dish. And it's shredded potatoes that they either eat, they either throw in chicken or pork, and they bake it in the oven.
That's so simple and good.
Keep talking, Joe. I'm going to look up this recipe. That sounds pretty good, though.
Yeah, it is. And then of course, you've got your typicals like Bannock. Bannock is I'm not sure if you've heard of Bannock before, but Bannock is it's an indigenous type of bread, but they either bake it or they fry it. And it's served as a, they'll serve it with meat or they'll serve it with jam. So it's multi-purpose, right? It's one of those meal. Yeah. So, I could go on and on, but I won't.
Okay. Did you know that Rappy? Okay, because I just looked it up. The Rappy Pie takes a total of 4 hours and 15 minutes. It's 45 minutes of prep time and 3.5 hours to cook.
I know.
You have to pack a lunch to prep this thing.
It's like a turkey dinner, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like when you make Christmas. So I would
It's
assume
your whole meal. Yeah, that's your whole meal.
right. So
Okay,
it's one of those.
For everybody wondering, it's 2 to 3 pounds of chicken, 3 onions, 2 carrots,
Two celery stalks.
2 celery stalks, 1 onion. Oh, wait a minute, what? 3 onions unpeeled and chopped,
Yeah.
and then 1 onion peeled and chopped.
Unpeeled? That's interesting.
Salt, pepper, 30 pounds of potatoes.
30 pounds?
30.
This is like a whole,
This is for like a family of 15?
and half a pound of salt pork.
You know, this is probably from a time frame when families were secular. They didn't have a lot of interaction or places to go. So they were, and when there was less things to do, people did seem to reproduce a lot more. So there were a lot of kids. So
Well,
really large families, and you'd have to make a little go a long way.
Well, that and also part of it is when I say like labor, like it would be farming communities, right, where they've got large groups of people that are bringing in harvest, right, or what, and so you're making a meal that's going to feed all of those people that are bringing in harvest or work, right?
And
that
back in the day, we didn't have the way to, we didn't have, not everyone had refrigeration and a way to preserve, and potatoes are really hard to maintain for a long time.
Right.
This recipe is I found
That's incredible.
I found one that's a little smaller. 2 tablespoons of margarine, 2 onions chopped, 4 quarts of chicken broth, 4 pounds of chicken, 10 pounds of potatoes, still 10 pounds of potato, 2 tablespoons of salt, like that's gonna be enough, and 1 tablespoon ground pepper. That's still quite a bit.
Yeah, like a lot of these dishes will be things like, because up here in our parts, right, you've got a lot of farming communities, you've got a lot of ranching community. Like, if you look at the spectrum of what Canada is, you've got Alberta, you've got Saskatchewan, you've got Manitoba, you've got Ontario. They're all, very big portions of the province are farming communities or cattle ranching or that type, right? So you have to have meals that are gonna feed lots of mouths
and fill them up.
So I was gonna say, I'm gonna fix this. That you have to juice the potatoes.
Well, that's
potatoes with an electric juicer. Place dry potato flesh into a bowl and discard the juice. Well, yeah, I've never heard of potato
Why would you
juice.
drink it? Yeah, that is gross. There's probably watered down versions of it, right? Like a smaller.
Now I really want to try it.
It looks kind of tasty.
I think it looks delicious. Like, yeah. I grew up.
6.5 hours to prep. This one
Well, it's an all-day adventure.
Hours. Who has that time?
But my mom used to.
I don't even sleep that long.
But I just remember my mom always used to make. She was really great with casseroles. So I grew up with all different types of casseroles. So, and anytime you have like a real formal meal, all the leftovers from that became a casserole.
Yeah, well, and
there's all different recipes because like this one calls for molasses. Now you're putting molasses in this thing, like.
well, molasses is typically. I mean, that's a very Canadian, right? Like, and when you look at
it doesn't mean you have to put in it. Anyway.
Well, but it's when you look at the area, like, right? I mean, but to your point, Christian. I mean, both of you actually, like, when you look at the fact that it takes 6 hours to make, right? It's one of those things where quite typically that was while the husband was out farming, right? The wife was prepping meals, right? For so that was, it just goes. Yeah.
Make me some
Rappy Pie.
Rappy Pie. She's like, no.
No, you're gonna get tuna casserole.
Exactly.
You're having a spurtable sandwich.
I'm gonna make you some
Yeah.
a can of tuna and a piece of bread.
I've been holding a spurtable since 1975 for you. Tonight.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
So for everybody watching, what is the strangest thing you've ever eaten? What is the
Well, I
oddest
could
thing?
say something I missed is, and I forgot about it until I saw it on this list. They were called Nico Wafers, and they're little candy wafers that when you chew them, they become kind of powdery. They're not like hardcore. They're I don't know how to describe them. They're like the soft sweet tarts, but without the sour. And they came in like chocolate, a whole bunch of different flavors, and they came in a big pack. And they're just thin little wafers that you just munch on.
What are they called?
Nico, Necco wafers. And I used to love them. I used to get them from 7-Eleven when I was a little kid all the time. Because there was a 7-Eleven that you could walk to from my parents' house.
I don't think I've ever heard of those before.
Oh.
I think everyone has at least seen them on the shelf.
Yes, these.
Yeah. And I don't find them in a lot of, like I can tell you, the places I go, like the grocery store and the little liquor store down the street, they don't carry it. I haven't seen Nico wafers anywhere for a long time.
You know where they probably have them? At that store by the house.
Oh, yeah. Daniel has this like old-fashioned candy shop, and they carry all the really weird like stuff that you could never get away with having anymore.
That's probably where we could probably find them.
And like,
Oh, well, I know who to talk to then.
Say again?
I know who to talk to then if I want, because there's a lot of old, like we used to have the old classic candy shop, and it went out of business, but it had all those old classics that I was looking for as, or that I ate as a kid. Right. So I know who to look. I know who to go to.
Yeah, there's a candy shop for anybody who's in the Orange County area and you happen to be in Laguna Beach, right on Forest.
It's
right?
a street
It's a
that goes
Forest.
up.
It's a Forest, so it's on the promenade now because it's a promenade. You go to the promenade, there's a candy store.
As you're walking towards Main Beach, it's on the left, like almost at the end on the left.
And I can't remember Laguna Candy or Laguna. Anyway,
It has some kind of candy store name,
but
and it's all blue wood. It's all painted blue wood.
they the Sweet Factory. Maybe that's it.
I don't think so.
We're gonna look it up, and I should know the name because I live there. But they have like candy boxes, like 60s candy, 70s, 80s, 90s candy. So like if you wanted to give somebody a gift, you can go there, and they have old-fashioned homemade candies. They even have like the foreign candies that you can like the green tea Kit Kats. Oh no, Kit Kats. I think so. Yeah,
Candy Baron.
Candy Baron. There you go, Candy Baron.
And there's also a La Rue du Chocolat.
Oh, you can eat anything about. Yeah, yes. I like it because they have little bags of the sour candies.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
I think they're really sour too.
Oh, those cherry sours, yeah.
So you're like me. I've just got this thing with sour. Yeah, anything really really sour. So do you like Warheads?
Oh yes, I remember Warheads.
Yeah, but
Like
when I was going through cancer, those sweet and sour candy. One of the few candies that I was able to like eat and enjoy were circus peanuts.
Yeah. Oh, Daniel loves those big orange circus peanuts.
Orange circus peanuts. You know what circus peanuts are.
They're just basically puffed sugar.
I don't know if I've had those.
You never had
Yeah,
those?
they're orange and they're about 1.5 inches, 2 inches big. And Daniel would just go crazy for him when he was going through.
Let me bring up.
when he was going through treatment.
Let me bring up a picture of it while we're talking, so that you guys can see it.
Like I just have this thing with anything really really sour. Just like give it to me. I want. And so you eat them to the point where your tongue gets raw, right? Or you're because.
Oh yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I can right now.
There you go.
All right, so let me show y'all so you can see.
Oh, we didn't pick a TikTok. Did
Oh, we didn't pick a TikTok. Where is it? Oh, sorry. I thought I was going to bring up
we? Your phone.
my phone, but it's not bringing up my phone. Oh, there it is. But hold on a second. Keep talking. Hold on, there it is.
Yeah, I know I was supposed to be with you guys a couple weeks ago, but I ended up getting sick in January and had to bounce off. Oh, yeah. I know
I just
those.
think most people know these, but they don't necessarily like them.
Yes.
Like I can have one and then I'm happy for the next 7, 10, 15 years. I like just one.
Don't they kind of have a chewy, like a chewy type of texture to them?
Yeah, they're a very sugary, like a super sugary, even though marshmallows are just puffed sugar too. They're basically like a dense marshmallow.
Yeah, I know them. And like I could one or two and I was fine.
Yeah, they're not.
And these are the candies that Christian was talking about. Those right there.
The Nico or Necco.
They were very popular.
Oh, and were they really thin?
Yeah, they're super thin. So
Yeah. Okay, I know them then.
And I used to love those when I was a little kid. And I haven't had one probably since I was a little kid.
So those were, I remember those. And they probably do have them there at the store.
There also used to be like a cardboard tube and it had just chocolate drops in it. I can't remember what it was called, but the drops had a very specific flavor to them. Like not like fruity or anything. They tasted like chocolate, but it was like a kind of a weird mix of, I don't know how they came to the chocolate, but I remember it was just a bunch of drops in the package.
Are the silk sodas the ones that were the little wax thing that you
are they the wax ones?
Is that what you're talking about, Julieta? That you could the wax you bit off the top.
Oh yeah. Those are called like Pixie Sticks.
No, okay. Pixie Sticks are one. Sour Punch Straws. Okay, Sour Punch Straws are good. But you don't remember these? They were like little wax sodas, and they came in a little.
Oh yeah.
And there wasn't that much in them. I always felt ripped off when I had one.
Yes, the wafers almost look like the sweet tarts,
but a very thin version. But they're not sour.
Yeah. Do you guys remember dipsticks?
Yes, I love those.
We just had some here, didn't we, recently?
I don't think so.
Remember in the Chinese?
I didn't have any. Let's put
in the Chinese packet. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
No, and I used to love the cola. They still have them. They're still out there. The cola bottle gummies. I love their flavor.
Oh yeah, I do too.
But those are current. Those have been around forever. They continue to be.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think about what silk soda candies Julieta's talking about. Are those like little sodas?
Daniel, you're so clever.
I'm just gonna say you look like you're token right now.
Or are they like candies? Like Christian's looking at them right now, looking them up. But yeah, there's a lot. When I go into that store, every once in a while, it's just that nostalgia. Okay, here we go. They had powder, explosive powder. Once you get through the candy, you could taste the amazing. Oh, they came in an orange package.
They're kind of like Pop Rocks.
You'll send us a link. Okay, send us a link. Did they come in an orange packet? Okay, did you find it?
No.
Now we're looking for them because.
There we go. Salt soda candy. There we go.
Yes, it is the orange one, right?
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like super sour, but it totally like turns to foam in your mouth. Like yeah.
Your job has a brand of Pop Rocks cannabis candy. Really?
Really?
Pop Rocks cannabis candy.
Oh
man.
Oh my.
Yes, we found.
Yeah, there was cherry, lemon, and orange.
There's cherry, lemon, and orange. Did you know that? I don't even know the orange one.
Soda.
I didn't know the orange one.
Yeah. There's even, it's not the same company, but it's Frizella hard candy that has all that stuff in it.
I like those.
There's cola, orange, and lemon. Ooh, I bet the lemon is, woo!
Although I remember as a kid, which is not really good for you, but as a kid, in Mexico, they sell it's a powdered Alka-Seltzer type thing. The Picot. Yeah, we used to get the Picot, which is powdered Alka-Seltzer, basically.
Yeah, it's just
And then you
Alka-Seltzer.
just put it in your mouth, and it's just like, and then you would walk around and tell kids that you had rabies.
That's gross.
Yeah, no, thank
So
you.
that's what you do
really
when you're
gross.
14 years old in Mexico.
Yeah.
Coming home.
When I was 14 years old, I think we were playing with Atari.
I didn't have time.
We weren't riding around on a burro or anything.
Turn. We only used the broom on the weekend. We worked on the
The
weekend.
things that you would do for cheap entertainment, Daniel.
Oh, if you knew how much I did for cheap entertainment.
But I just,
That was my nickname in college.
lately they've brought up in a few shows, they've said, like, someone has said, I remember when your parents used to tell you to go out and play because they just didn't want your mom, either it was your mom or both your parents or your mom and your aunt. They're like, get out of the house because you're driving us nuts. So they'd go out and play. And you would get on your bike, a BMX or a 10-speed maybe, depending on how tall you were and, how well off you were. And you would, the only rule, and it seems so universal, was you had to be home by the time the street lights were coming on. Like as soon as the street lights came on, your day, it was done. You need to get home. You need to get home for dinner and to be with your family. And I've seen a few references in shows recently to that. And I remember that. My mom would be like, go out and play. It wasn't like, and there was no like, you could be kidnapped. Oh, you could, yeah, we go out and play. We do crazy stuff. We had this whole area.
They wouldn't kidnap us because we could run. Now the kids,
I know, we can run now.
now the kids.
Yeah.
And we weren't allergic to anything.
we constantly talk to our kids about that, in that, like, when I was growing up, exactly that, right? I was down at the park and, we were out until the streetlights came on. We were playing kick the can. We were, I'd come home from school and, we would immediately go out and play kick the can with all of the other, with all the other kids in the neighborhood. But now, the substitution is the phone, the tablet, the computer,
the
right?
Video game,
and the video games. All those things have taken precedence.
Yeah, and I just remember we used to play war in these huge fields that used to be in our city, or it wasn't a city then; it was a town. And we'd just go playing in the fields weren't flat; they had hills, so you could hide behind the hills, and we'd catch lizards, and we did all that crazy stuff. And there was a creek that had really big goldfish in it for some reason.
We used to go catch tadpoles.
Yeah, and and it had crayfish too, so we'd catch the crayfish, but we didn't know what to do with them, so we just throw them back in.
Yeah,
Michael, I have Lucas candies at home. If you ever.
Oh, is that what those you have boxes of?
The ones that you push and has the tamarindo on it.
Oh, yum!
I have some of those at home.
Daniel gets these boxes of Mexican candy.
I belong to the T-shirt of the month club, and they send it in a little box full of candy, Mexican candy.
Yeah,
I have tons of it right now.
So much. I keep wanting to tell you to bring a box up here, because I would be perfectly happy just having that as a backup, some munch on. But exploring another culture's candy.
I was going to say, you got to send something up my way, Daniel.
Yeah, should say that would be hard to get.
Let's post it for those of you on the Facebook page. She's on on my page. She's watching on my page. So if you're watching this on my personal page, you can find the link to the candies. Look at these picosos.
Honda.
Oh, picosos. Oh, yeah. Cuando vayas, we need to come by the house, Julita, or I need to come visit you. I'll bring you. I have a whole bunch of little candies.
Yeah. And, even has those I like the little goat caramel ones. It's like goat milk caramel, and it's actually so good.
That's an interesting combination.
And it's goat milk. It's caramel made with goat milk, and so it has that tanginess that goat milk has. Because I'd never had it till I had this.
And then you like the Duvalin. For everybody, Duvalin is milk.
It's like a little pudding thing.
Yeah, and you It's
But it's very sharp.
tiny,
Yeah.
and it's just a little snack that we used to eat after school.
Like for a little kid, it would be like wonderful.
T-shirt of the month for my thesis research. Oh yeah, I will text you afterwards where I get it.
Oh yeah.
Dulce de cajeta. Yeah,
Yeah.
he likes those. He likes those. There's a bunch of. I mean, when you
They even make the one that's in red wrapping. It's like kind of like a tube, and it looks like it's wrapped in red,
Yeah.
but it's bigger.
yeah, that's what she's talking.
Oh,
about.
that's the one she's
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about, not the little
Yeah,
thin one.
it's like leche quemada.
Yeah.
candy. He likes the leche quemada ones. There's a.
See,
there-
go ahead.
No, it's like condensed milk or.
Yeah, it is. It's condensed milk,
But it's thick and it's a
but
candy.
it's more like caramel.
And-
It's caramelized.
Yeah, and sometimes they put pecans in it or.
Yeah, or it's covered in
Yeah.
pecans, like
Yeah.
that at our
Ándale, las glorias.
at our.
It sounds good.
Oh, it is. It's really good. We need to send some of this up to you.
Yeah, we need to
You
Mexican.
can just get a box
You
and
need a
send it
little.
to
You need a little.
and you
color
guys
in
can
your
just
life.
open it up and explore all the different.
Kids.
Also, like
Well,
continuing with my trend of uniqueness,
Hmm.
do you guys have Macintosh Coffee down there?
No,
Macintosh Coffee.
we
Yeah,
only have Macintosh computers.
I'll say because it's unique. We were never able to buy it in the States, and it is something unique to us here, and we used to love it as kids. Like, because you buy the package of it, and it would come in a big slab, like like a chocolate bar would. And we used to, as kids, love being able to, like, we'd smack it against a wall because you had to break it into small pieces, right? To be able, because it's super chewy, and you can't just bite it off. You'll get your teeth stuck in it, and yank, like it's that chewy.
Wow.
Here
I
you
like
go,
that.
kids. Have something that can knock your teeth
I'll
out.
pull your teeth out for you. If you have a loose tooth, eat this.
Well, people used to give it I know of parents that used to give it to their kids where their first teeth were coming out, right?
Oh.
And they'd get them to chew on it, and when the tooth was loose enough, and it would just yank the other couple of roots out, right?
Holy moly, that's some serious candy.
Yeah.
It'll knock your teeth out and plug holes. Well, folks, we're almost at that point, and you didn't give us your. So put it in the private chat if you can. What your pick of the week is, so I can put it up.
I will.
Oh, sure.
It's coming.
My pick of the week is Below Deck Sailing Yacht. It is based on the Below Deck series. Like, there's Below Deck Mediterranean, there's Below Deck, just Below Deck, which was the original show, which are all about, the first two are about luxury motor yachts and their crews and all the crazy customers and the crazy crews and all the insanity that ensues during their charter season. And this one is on an actual sailboat, this gigantic sailboat that actually sails. And it's called Sailing Yacht. And they have these insane crew. They have, of course, they're different each season. But this insane crew with a great captain and insane crew doing insane stuff. And the guests are even crazier. And they have accidents and foibles. It's just so much fun to watch. This one is called Below Deck Sailing Yacht. You can watch it on Bravo and their Bravo streaming service. And it is, this boat is called the Parsifal 3, and it's moored out of Menorca, Spain this season.
Cool. Ready, Ross?
I am ready. Okay, so my pick of the week is called A Million Little Things, and it is a series that we've been watching on Prime, and it is based. It's a group of friends that are in Boston, living in Boston, and they have a friend that dies right at the beginning, and that's all I'm going to give away as far as what happens. But it just follows the lives of these this group and circle of friends that are trying to struggle to carry on this friend's legacy, but also to just carry on with life after his death. And it's got about 4 or 5 seasons to it, and it is highly addictive, and we are powering through it, probably watching it pretty much every night.
Cool. Thank you, Russ. My pick of the week is a show called True Story on Peacock. It is hosted by Ed Helms and Randall Park. You might know the names. Randall Park was the dad. Oh, shoot, I just forgot the name. Fresh Off the Boat. He was the dad on Fresh Off the Boat. And just watch Fresh Off the Boat.
A little bit.
Anyway, so Ed Helms and Randall Park host the show, and it's called True Story on Peacock. It's a short series. They're trying to pick up season 2, but it's real people coming in to tell their life-altering, changing stories. And then actors portray the stories. So there's real actors portraying all this, and reenactment. Thank you. So they're really cute. Some of the stories are kind of hard to believe, but I actually was going to submit to it. So they sent me an application, and you have to submit documentation of the things that you're talking about so that they can verify it. So all of these stories have been verified for validity. So check it out. It's called True Story. It's about a 45-minute show. It's really quick. Check them out. There's several stories. Some of them are really heartwarming. Some of them are just funny. Some of them are like, that didn't happen. But they're really cool. So go check them out, and hopefully there'll be a season 2. Thank you. So we had some comments from here. You're talking to someone at work. Cactus Cooler is only sold.
Oh, I love Cactus Cooler. I just had one this week.
You
got me one.
Yeah. And then
I haven't had that in years.
It is highly addictive. It's and there's always, at the end of the show, there is always this, your breath gets taken away because something happens and you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming,
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fantastic and highly addictive show.
I've been watching since I was working from home quite a bit. I've been watching. What was it? The day that I was off. Anyway, there was one day where I was off, and I ended up watching 3 different movies in one day. But I don't recall them. They weren't memorable. I think the last one I watched was Home Team, or it's the new.
Well, they must have been memorable if you can't remember them.
Yeah, they must have been so good.
What's his name? The guy from. Who's the guy from? I can't remember.
You're having a senior moment, Daniel.
I am totally having a senior moment. Who is the guy from the Twilight movies? Lautner.
Taylor Lautner?
Yeah, he's in it. He plays a football coach with the chubby guy from King of Queens.
Oh,
I know who you're talking about. I just don't know.
What's his name? Now I'm having a moment.
You know what I'm talking about. Everybody, help here.
Oh, my friend's Johnson, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Oh, yeah, Young Rock. I like it. That was on Hulu to begin with, and I watched the whole series. It's so good.
Yeah.
Season 1.
Yeah.
I've heard it's been approved for season 2. So
I don't know if I've seen that.
I watched a couple of episodes with you.
it's so good. It's just like a little kind of like a light documentary or autobiographical type show about Dwayne the Rock at different stages of life, when he was a kid, when he went to college, or when he was in high school, when he went to college, and then in the future. The show is based on him running for president in the future.
Oh, okay.
He's talking about his past during, with different interviewers. So it's really interesting because it's legitimately his past. It's not like, from what I understand, it's not supposed to be embellished or anything. Like, this is what his parents were and everything.
Okay, so I found it. So the movie is called Home Team. I know I had home in there somewhere. Home Team. It's Kevin James.
Oh, Kevin James.
Kevin James, right.
Taylor Lautner, and Rob Schneider has a little part because he's old. But it's produced or directed by. It's produced by Adam Sandler.
Well, because Kevin James and Adam Sandler are best friends. Like,
Yeah, so they're always in the movies together. Yeah, it's a very predictable movie because it's about Kevin James. It's based on a true story.
Everything from Adam Sandler is completely.
It's based on a true story about this football player. I mean, football coach who was fired, goes back to coach his kids' team, and then they end up winning. And it's just like,
and everyone's happy.
Mall Cop guy, yeah. Kevin James, that he's in it.
I never really liked those mall cop game or movies.
Nah, I think they were that funny.
And the movies is the kids is what makes it cute because kids are they make it funny. But if you're into football movies or kid movies, this is
such a common thing. People are into football and kiddie movies.
I said or. What did I say or? Anyway, what's y'all speak of the week? For those of you out there, what are y'all watching lately? Upload?
It's back.
Upload is coming back. We talked about it.
It's already back.
We talked about it. It's been 2 years now, right?
Yeah, because of COVID.
We talked about Uploads a while back on our pick of the week. Upload is about when you die and they send you.
Well, it's about a future, not so distant future, where when you die, they can upload you into this mainframe, and you live your life in this virtual world, your afterlife in this virtual world. So you don't feel like you really died. You just feel like you transitioned. And these different worlds are obviously owned by corporations. So the more money you have, the more luxurious your afterlife is.
Oh, wow.
So it's to me, it's like, oh, that's not a reward for getting through this life.
You have to watch season 1
to understand what's coming,
which is on Amazon Prime. We have to go watch first so you can follow season 2, because otherwise I feel like
because the way season 1 ended, it's totally changing in season 2. It's not going to be the same.
Another really good one that people need to watch is Tinder Swindler. Tinder Swindler.
Oh yes.
It's on my queue to watch.
I heard about that.
Yeah. It's quite interesting to I don't want to give it away, but just watch it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what's going around on TikTok is this brand new cherry flavor show that's on Netflix, and apparently in episode 4, at 34 minutes in, or 35 minutes in, there's this consensual scene of deep physical intimacy between the main female character and a male character. But it's so disturbing, people can't even get through a few minutes of it. Like, people have to turn it off or skip ahead. It's so disturbing. I didn't believe it, and I don't usually do the blind reaction stuff because I don't have I'd love to set up a camera and do a blind reaction, but I didn't. And I just saw 10 seconds of it, and I was like, no.
Now I'm curious.
No.
Yeah.
And you gotta see it. No one could describe it to you accurately. You have to actually witness it. And all I could say is it is absolutely one of my top 3 most disturbing sexual things that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I don't know.
Top 3.
I don't know if I could do it.
And I'll put it this way: it's not like violent and ugly in that way. It's totally like you can't describe it, and you can't describe it, and you can't categorize it. That's all I'll say.
I haven't seen the Colin Kaepernick yet.
No, I haven't yet. Is that what it's
Have
about?
you guys watched Inventing Anna?
Yes.
Not yet.
Really good.
But yes, going back to this, the Masked Singer. I read about the Rudy Giuliani thing. I'm waiting for it to happen. I haven't seen it. Rudy Giuliani is on the Masked Singer.
Oh,
and
that's not.
And the reveal wasn't good. We're on episode 1 from last week, so we need to watch it.
There's just too much good stuff to watch.
There's.
And I'm sorry, Rudy Giuliani, really? They were probably counting on that ratings thing, but
there's a lot of stuff, and then there's a lot of streaming channels. Like there's some hidden ones that I didn't even know about that are out there.
Mhm.
Because I keep getting notifications like, oh, have you watched the show on here? So
Yeah. There's a lot of free streaming services that are out there that you can subscribe to, but they've got a lot of garbage stuff on them as well. Like that's so some of it is really low quality.
Well, what happens is like all the pilots and all the shows that don't really get picked up that have been sitting there on storage room for years.
Now they're getting
Now,
picked up.
yeah, now with all this new streaming services, they're buying these backlogs that have been sitting there, and there's shows. Because a friend of mine did a pilot like 5 years ago, and she's like, it just came out on the streaming page, and somebody called me. Somebody told her like, I just saw you in this show. Are you in the new show? And she's like, no. And then she like, what's the name? And she looked at me and goes, that's like from 5 years ago. Like they're just airing it, but they're airing it because during COVID we ran out of stuff to show. People weren't producing anything, so they were looking at backlogs. So you might see actors, movies that are on theaters coming out in theaters are from several years ago that they had done. So
Yeah.
And certainly movie theaters are going the way of the dodo pretty quick too in this streaming world. COVID basically put the nail in their coffin.
Yeah.
Because the one that used to be by me that I used to walk to every week and go watch a movie, when the whole company went under. ArcLight Theaters.
AMC is
And AMC apparently
buying
is
them out.
buying them out, and who knows what's going to happen there. But I don't know anyone who actually goes to the movie anymore and watches because
I just miss the popcorn. I miss the popcorn from the movie theaters.
I miss the hot dog.
Oh yeah.
And the icy.
Well, what about you folks? Are y'all ready to go out to the movie theaters, or are you happy? I'm sure for
And the whole
families
thing
it's
is they
better.
weren't clean before COVID. They ain't clean now.
Okay, if you're planning on going back to theaters, do not go on TikTok and look up movie theaters, because some of the stories are pretty.
Yeah.
But I'm sure for families it's convenient to watch these movies at home now and just stream them at home.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I did a game show before COVID and I bombed it. I hope never. I did a game show a couple of years ago and it just aired like last year or 2020. I haven't seen it. I got kicked out first, so. But I kept the shirt. They kicked me out of the show so fast. The show they had me use, they let me keep it.
You got the shirt, and that's the important part, right?
It's time for you to do station identification.
Oh, yes, it's almost time to leave. We're running behind us today. Remind everybody, we have got shows for you every day of the week. Join us on Wednesdays, like today, with the Christian and Daniel Show at 6-9 p.m. Eastern. On Fridays, the Cart Devo, 5-8 Eastern. And put it together on Saturdays at 12 noon, 3 o'clock Eastern. Remember to catch us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And if you're watching us on YouTube, do us a favor, scroll down and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. It will let you know every time there's a new show that we're posting. Check us out at littlemexicanproductions.com, hashtag Little Mexican Productions Inc. And like we were saying, we've got horoscopes on Mondays. We've got pop-up shows during the week about special stuff. I've been going to several conferences, so I've been able to interview people, bring on the show people from the conferences to interview. If you are interested in being a co-host here on Christian and Daniel or a guest on Put It Together, please reach out to us on whatever channel you're watching on. Send us a message or an email at Daniel G. Garza at littlemexicanproductions.com. That's the way to get it. And we will book it out. Just like, well, Ross just kind of sneaks in now. We don't really.
Oh, that was low. That was low.
He calls us into his Ross cave. Oh, yeah.
I bring you into my lair.
Talk about candy.
Yeah.
And sinkholes. Anyway, Ross, thank you so much for coming back.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad.
Thanks for having me,
you're doing
guys.
better except for the sinkhole in your front yard.
All right, for everybody watching, we're so glad that you joined us. Thank you for your comments and participation. We will see you next Wednesday. Yeah. Bye.